Okay, so we are back. Yeah. Okay, so we are back. I've switched it a bit up, so the what you will see will be a bit more delayed. So I may read comments a bit too late, but that will help the stream being more consistent and not having issues. So I think this will work out pretty good. Hey, you're back again, nice. Okay, so, yeah. There were some internet issues, but I hope they have been, let's see. Hey! Okay. Nice. Yeah, we're back. You stole me off my funny chat logs. Sorry, we are back now. I saw your meme, by the way, it was very great. But, okay, so, the, you're not lagging, that's very nice. The chat will be a bit delayed, and what you will see will be a bit delayed too. So, I may answer comments a bit late, but that will help the stream from not lagging. What the fuck? Yeah, okay, so I think that will work. It's very unstable. It's telling me that there is suddenly no data, and then it's perfectly connected afterwards. Very annoying. But if you guys can see me, hear me, and everything, then I think we're all good. I just don't want to move. I don't want to progress without you guys actually hearing something. Okay. So can you guys hear me again? See me, everything. The Norwegian government caught wind of the fantasy book and they didn't like it one bit and took down the network. Yeah, it's the government, dude. They're after my writing. They don't like my writing, my written works. Fucking hate them. Yeah, they called me here the other day and said that like if I continue book 2, they will actually hunt me down. So I'm very scared. But if you guys can hear me and everything, I think we're good to go. Yeah, I think so. Okay, where were we? Okay, I start from wooden golem's hair in Chaldean, Galder whispers to himself. The golem produces a gurgling sound from its mushy mouth as it bolts towards Galder. Jonas Gahr disapproves of Galder's audiobook. Did you look up Norwegian Prime Minister? Dude, he has done nothing since he was elected. But okay, let's not bring politics into this, but yeah, lazy ass minister, man. He brings forth his sword, holding it steady with both hands. He dashes forward with a swift movement, slashing at the golem's chest as he rolls away and quickly gets up on his feet again. It lets out a horrifying scream, enough to make the children and the parents protect their ears. Galder struggles with focusing as the scream gets louder every second. He blinks twice and breathes out. The creature jumps at him yet again, but this time Galder dashes to the left, and with a clean cut, swings his sword fast, skewering off the golem's wooden hand. Its body falls flat and its head rolls across the floor. Yeah. So, I hope everything's going good. Were there any lag or any issues with that in that sequence? I looked it up. His last name looks like a glitch in the Matrix. Yeah. Gosh, story. Yeah, it's a weird. It's very. Is it like a regular Norwegian name? But it sounds so weird in English. Okay, that was not meant to happen. That was like a wooden golem. They should be eradicated. I guess this one was lucky. This is my line of work and it was poorly executed. I apologize to you. Galder says humbly, while brushing his hair away from his face. The father gets up, a tall and lean man by the age of 30. "Apologize. You saved our lives. I have no way of thanking you," he says. "Get out of here now before the house burns down. That's the only thing you owe me," Galder exclaims, giving them a serious look. They all get on their feet and rush out of the house. It's beyond salvation, and the family, still in shock, does not doubt Galder's intuition. "Are all of you all right?" Galder asks the family. They nod and embrace each other, obviously terrified. "Just remain calm. It's over now," Galder states, motioning for the mother to assure the kids that it's all over. "No lag, dear sir. Great to hear. Nice. Very good. Norwegians are a glitch in the Matrix. Yeah, they are, man. Not supposed to be here." Yeah. "What can we do to repay you, my friend?" the father asks. "Nothing. I see that you are without a home for a while, though. We could sort that out. I am on my way to Gahar. Seeing as the prices of a house in Caldian are devastating, maybe Gahar would be the best place to search for a new home." Galder answers, confidently. "I have been to Gahar many times. As a tradesman, that's my line of work. I know all the shortcuts and alternative paths in that area. If you would like a guide, we would be happy having a warden as you with us," the father tells him with a false smile on his face. Just look at Spiem, he's 9 feet tall. 9 feet tall. Oh, that's good. I'm not a warden anymore, unfortunately, but that sounds like a plan. We should move now rather than later. That way we can find a clear spot to camp before nightfall, Galder responds, pointing at the path leading north. Galder and the family walks along the wet and muddy roads. The large forest, probably the same that the wooden golem came from, is next to them, looming over them and blocking the obscure moonlight away from their path. The darkness is growing quickly around them, and after 2 long hours, the darkness has turned into a pitch-black landscape of nothingness. "So how far is Gahar if we continue to move at this pace?" Galder asks, his eyes fixated at the road. "Oh, I'd say a week's walk at least, even with the shortcuts," the father answers, while trying to orient himself in the darkness. "Well, I guess we should stop for the day. The kids look tired and wet air is causing us to slow down even more," the mother says, holding both hands around their 3 children. "Not a bad choice. Let's settle down inside the forest, so that the trees can guard us from the upcoming rainfall." They sit down beneath a mass of pine trees, which works as a solid barrier for the raindrops, moisturizing the area around them. Galder managed to make a campfire by scraping his sword against a sharp rock, creating sparks, powerful enough to eventually set the pile of sticks on fire. He rests his sword between his legs and looks at the family. "So, my name is Galder. I reckoned you ought to know," he says, looking away from the family and staring into the fire. "Thank you once again, Galder. Name is Bashir. My wife here is Shahira, and these are Hesh, Philia, and Urgis," the father says, pointing toward his family. Next, here is the individual eyebrow strand length of each family member, then the width between their eyes. Yeah, like every detail needs to be taken into order, because I need this to be a good story. Every detail. I need to even to explain how Bashir's beard is growing at a rapid pace, everything. Hesh, the oldest one, has inherited her father's tan skin, brown eyes, and midnight black hair. Philia, on the other hand, resembles their mother, with her green eyes sparkling like a polished gem. The youngest one, Urgis, is only half a year old, so there isn't much to say about him. Both Bashir and Shahira seem very mature for their age. They act like Galder's very own parents back in Boltingbrook. They are most likely over half a decade older than him. Hesh pushes Philia behind her and looks at Galder with an angry face, trying to protect her sister from the unfamiliar man. Galder smiles and pats her on the head. "You're a brave one, aren't you? Maybe you will wield a sword like me when you get older. I bet your father will love to see you become a royal god, fighting giants, leading armies, being a hero to your people," Galder comments. "He's not as full of adventure and excitement as you may think, but it's still a job, and one that I'm content with." He shows the children his hands. They are pale, dry, a bit discolored, and big. "Have you heard of the grave crab?" he asks, while folding his fingers around Hesh's hands. She looks at her hands, and then up at Galder's sea blue eyes. Philia pushed her sister away. "What's a grave-digger?" she asks, with her mouth open and eyes widened. "It's a troll, big troll, located in Black Meek Forest, west for Urian. It had 3 large heads and 5 arms. It was larger than me, twice the size, wielding a large tree in its hand." Galder motions with his hands as he tells the tale of the gravedigger. The Scroll of the Blind, the Yankon, is the Red Dead Redemption 2 of fantasy writing. Have we repurposed Bashir? Bashir is a completely different character this time. But I'm glad, man. Thank you for the positive feedback. What the fuck? Another fucking issue warning. What is this? What's going on? Well, I'm just gonna continue, and let's hope it sorts out eventually. Yeah. He's taken back to another time, a year ago to be exact. He had shorter hair at that time, and was far from skilled in the art of monster slaying. He remembers how his body froze like ice when he first encountered the troll. The rain soaked his silver-colored hair that day, and the blood from the troll soaked his armor as he painted Black Meek Forest red with its thick blood. "Was it scary? Did you beat it? Will it come and get us?" Philia asks, her eyes sparkling with tears. "Of course not. I beat it. It ran home to its troll mother and cried itself to sleep." The girls giggles and cover their mouth. "But fear not, you, Philia. Have such a brave sister to watch your back. You're nothing to be afraid of in this world," Galder states and pats her head. "Your Pepsi looks jarringly blue on the webcam." "Oh really? Oh, because of the lighting. Well, it's blue Pepsi. With the taste of blueness." Bashir meets Galder's eyes and gives him a warm smile. It's genuine, he can feel it. "Well, girls, it's getting late. Let's get some sleep, alright?" he says, as the girls walks over to Shahira with heavy eyelids. "Now get some sleep you too, Galder. You really saved us today. Be proud of yourself." Galder gives him a solid nod. "I will, friend." Hi, I return. Nice to see you, Bracket. So this is like just a little character building between Galder telling some tales from his younger days and like just saying nice things and being a good role model, you know. Had an RP event with friend. Nice. That's always good. The family have fallen into deep sleep as the campfire is almost extinguished. Galder, on the other hand, is still wide awake as he plays with a herd of fireflies swarming around his fingers. Their light blue glow gives his hand a subtle warmth. He looks at the bright, pale moon, which proudly gleams in the deep night sky. His eyes eventually succumb to the darkness, and he falls asleep. His deep sleep ends abruptly as both Philia and Hesh runs screaming, "I'll take you soon, Gravedigger!" Galder gets up too quickly, which causes a nauseating feeling within his body before he shakes it off and looks around. He picks up his leather satchel and pulls out a piece of bread. "This is the only piece of food I brought. Share it wisely," he explains, as he gives the rest to Bashir after breaking off a piece for himself. Rookie bounty hunter Galder is very interesting to me. Yeah, like I'm interested in delving into like his old path and his like previous encounters with monsters and stuff and convicts. After the small meal, the family and Galder begin preparing for yet another day on the road. "We need to move quickly while we still have daylight," Galder states, and the family, after gathering their few belongings, follow him out of the forest. They continue on the path leading north for 3 more hours until they notice something strange in the distance. There is a large line of caravans traveling in their direction. There seems to be at least 40 of them. They are driven by some kind of horse and donkey crossbreed that only exist in the far west, proving that these are travelers from Agadori, most likely merchants. I hate children. I don't despise these children. No, that's good to hear. That Philia and Hesh seem a bit like... I don't like children too. I think they're annoying. But these are okay. Kinda wholesome. Yeah. On the largest caravan, the only one driven by 2 animals at once, has a sign mounted on the top which depicts a grinning bull and reads, "The Wandering City." The man riding it is of a gigantic stature, with long wild hair and a thick beard. In his left hand is a large wooden crossbow. After he finally gets close enough, Galder reach out his hand. Greetings, friend from the west. We are travelers from Caldian, headed for Gahar. Who may you be? The man stares at them calmly and chuckles, his beard vibrating as he's having a laugh. I am Gorgok, and this, he says, as he points to his entourage who cheers loudly, is my village. What a great timing with the music. So everyone doing good? Any lags, any problems, or is everything okay? It says here that it's no data, but I think we're good. I think we're stable. Galder looks at the large wagons with I see a spelling error here. I don't know what I was trying to say. I think I was trying to write rigged. Rigged wooden wheels and awnings extending from the front to deflect the sun. They're brightly painted with patterns of mosaic figures and colors. That proves it. You are from the west, as I presumed. Do you bring any tidings from Agadori? Galder asks. He leans close to Galder, who backs away after noticing his heavy, dar-scented breath. The state isn't any good, lad. There are problems in our lands these days. Severe problems, I tell you. If you think about visiting the west now, I'd choose another time if I were you, he says, and looks around carefully. How come? Galder curiously answers. There is said to be a nomadic one, a merchant, that is, who has pulled some strings you ought to leave unpulled, you get me? More I can't say, even if I knew, he answers, as he leans back. Anyways, I know a traveler when I see one. You look like the determined and stubborn sort, so heed my warning, but do as you please. Care to join me for some dar tea? He asks, as the subject is changed completely. Oh, excuse us, we are heading north and can't afford to waste a second. That's why I was wondering if you could let us ride with you for a while. He raises his eyebrows. Unfortunately, we are going south, but we will head north again in a couple days, you know. Merchant's business. I see. Well, could we buy one of your wagons? I'd reckon you have a lot of them considering your occupation. He scratches his beard. Alright, say 12 gold for one wagon, deal? I only have 10 gold, unfortunately, Galder says, pulling up a worn-out leather bag. 10 gold is more than enough, lad. I won't drag this any further. Tarmag, give him your wagon, will you? He shouts to one of his companions on the back of the line. Thank you, Gorgok. I hope we will cross paths again sometime, Galder says, and waves him off as he and the family walks towards Tarmag's wagon. Me too, lad, he yells, and rides away. Not at all well, all good. Nice. Okay, so that was the Gorgok encounter. Feel like that one was pretty good. And if you guys can remember Gorgok, you know that he might return. With the wagon, Galder and the family travel through the hills at a much faster pace. They see several lakes, farmhouses, and even some forts in the distance. All this eventually stops as they cross Dalwington Bridge, the last noteworthy bridge before the town of Gahar. Wait up, please, Bashir shouts, and Galder stops the wagon in an instant. What's the matter? Gahar is just 6 hours away, right? He holds around a sickly Hesh, which has passed out in his arms. Hesh, she suffers from epilepsy. She's having another seizure and we need a physician now, Shahira shouts. The closest town within this desolate land is 2 hours away. That is, if we take the safe route around the forest. However, if we were to enter the forest and cross it, we would enter the city of Dalt in less than 10 minutes, Bashir yells. But you told me yourself, this is Faringhan Forest. I've heard tales and legends about this woodland that I wouldn't dare tell even the Emperor, Galder responds. Please, Galder, look at her. Hesh shakes and writhes in pain as her eyes remain closed. Alright, get out and into the forest, but on 3 conditions. Stay behind me, and whatever happens, do not, on any circumstances, stray from the path, Galder states, as the family nods nervously. They jump down from the wagon, one by one, and runs into the forest while Hesh's health state slowly deteriorates. The trees are incredibly tall, forming a permanent twilight throughout the forest. They trot through the heavy mud covering the main path. I think it's lagging like wildly now. Is it just me, or has Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance gotten a lot of popularity now? Oh, has it? I heard it's a good game. She watched the Forbidden Pokemon episode giving everyone seizures. Oh, the Polygon episode. Oh my, that was banned from Japan. Holy shit. Okay, so I see that there are some issues, but just bear with me. I think they will be over in not too long. The wildlife is nowhere to be heard, only silence. Then a loud crackling is heard from within the mass of trees. Galder turns, only to see a massive lightning storm close behind him. He is thrown into a nearby tree, and the lightning strikes keeps coming at him. He gets up and bolts toward the path as the family is staring back at him in shock. He pulls out his longsword from his back. It's shining in the clear moonlight, reflecting off of the refined edge of the blade. The figures shooting the lightning at him slowly becomes clear. There are 5 of them. They are covered in black cloaks resembling Agadorian mages. They point their fingers at him in harmony and unleash a combined blast of lightning and fire. Galder is yet again thrown up into another tree, but the leather armor on his chest leaves his body intact and uninjured for now. "Run! Stay on the road, I'll hold them off," he shouts to the family, without looking back. Bashir sighs and bolts straight ahead with his family close behind him. It's not lagging for me, although there is a tiny stutter on the face cam, but not the audio. Okay, but if it's bearable, that's very good. The standing here I realize beam spiked in popularity. Oh, what? Really? Metal Gear Rising. I want to try it sometime. Okay, yeah. Galder sprints towards the 5 mages, but the devastating heat formed by yet another blast from their fingertips causes him to fall to his knees. He tries to stand, but in his attempt, another storm is shot his way. The storm unleashes a sheer force of electrified water, which Galder surprisingly dodges. He charges at the nearest mage and with a clean cut, shaves off his right hand. He jumps away, and the one-handed mage looks at him from underneath his hood in utter horror. "You have a western face. What are you after, Agadorian?" Galder shouts. He raises his left hand at him and prepares another spell, but Galder leaps forward and shoves his blade through his mouth, killing him. The 4 remaining mages throw small urns containing some sort of oil in the water and ignite it with fire, engulfing the whole area in flames. Galder looks at them and decides that retreat will be the best option for now. He continues rushing through the woods as fast as he can, while the leader releases a volley of fire, engulfing most of the forest in a ball of flame. Lag twice, stable now, but I'm scared. I'm scared too, but as long as the stream's going, I guess we can't do anything. But just let me know if anything happens. He backs away and runs into the forest until the mages have lost sight of him. He continues rushing through the woods as fast as he can, while the leader releases a volley of fire, engulfing most of the forest in a ball of flame. Grass and leaves ignite as the forest goes up in flames. The shock from the explosion launches Galder forward and into a huge puddle of mud. He lays still, completely silent, trying to blend in with nature as the mages search for him. As the voices and footsteps disappears, he pulls himself out of the mud and hurries into the trees as the fire begins to die down. In the far end is what looks like an opening, and Galder bolts towards it. Okay, sorry, I gotta do that again. Okay, there's a buffer once every minute or so, still bearable. Okay, nice, that's good. There will be some issues, but if it's still bearable, that's all good. In the far end is what looks like an opening, and Galder bolts towards it, throwing himself out of the muddy bedridden woods, now mostly burnt to ashes. At the edge of the forest, Galder finds himself at the top of a large hill, a valley almost, leading down to a group of houses, torches, people. It's the city of Dalt. Galder shrugs as he looks back at the ashen part of the forest. He is confused, puzzled, and anxious. He feels his heart pumping like it did when he encountered the Gravedigger a year ago. This encounter with the 5 Agadorians manifested many questions in his usually peaceful mind. He seeks answers. Who were they, and what were they trying to hinder? Chapter 2, Where the Water is Flowing. That was Chapter 1. That was actually 10 pages. Wow. Immediate thoughts? Immediate opinions? Let me know. The story, the mage fires a blast of fire. The music, Happy Kingdom Come Deliverance music. Yeah. It's somewhat unstable, but not too bad, in my opinion. Is it just me or was there the tiniest bit of a buffer there? Yeah, I think so. I don't know what's going on, but it seems like it's going. It's working. So no need to complain from my part. Okay, should we continue, boys? Are you having a good time? I hope you're having a good time. I'm having a good time. So if you guys are ready, I will just continue on. Chapter 2, where the water is flowing. Galder runs down the hill, his clothes muddy and his hair sweaty. The city lights up like a beacon at the depth of the valley the hill is leading into. As he gets closer, the midnight blue banners of Dalt are showing themselves, mounted majestically on the city's wooden walls. As Galder stumbles towards the gates, the guards quickly notice his horrid appearance. One of them, with a moustache and wearing the casual blue armor belonging to the Dalton guards, approaches. Are you alright, Wanderer? He asks worriedly, and helps Galder find his footing. Yeah, just exhausted, he answers. Well, what business do you have here? He asks. I seek shelter for the night. I was accompanied by a family of 5. Did they pass through the city not long ago? Galder answers, spitting some blood on the ground. Yes, certainly. They entered the city right before you showed up. They can only stay for the night, unfortunately, and that goes for you too. I apologize, but we have to follow the right for shelter decree, he answers, looking ashamed of how poorly refugees are treated. The decree is meant to give every refugee, without a criminal record, shelter if they were to seek one, but this can only last for 1 day without proper housing. Some cities and towns are called dead villages, which, explained roughly, means that several houses stand empty due to disease, plagues, or wars, and therefore the price of said houses are lowered considerably. To summarize, dead villages are towns where refugees easily can buy themselves a home for an easy coin as a result of the town's desperation for workforce. This works as a loophole for any refugees without wealth, and the only way to find shelter for more than 1 day and thus annihilate the right for shelter decree. I'm going for water, don't summon Morgic before I get back. I return, what happened? Oh, I think we've just started chapter 2. Galder has entered Dalt, and we have just been explaining what a dead village is, and how refugees can obtain a home in these days. Yeah. This works. Yeah, we did that. Thanks for the aid, soldier, Galder mutters, and slowly shakes off his limping right leg as he manages to calm down. Call me Guthrum, the soldier answers, and waves at him as Galder advances through the gates. The town of Dalt is rather small of size and cramped due to the small size of the valley. Under the war between Elfenstadt County and the Duchy of Rosendans in the early Third Age, a military camp was built in this valley to avoid enemy patrols, as the soldiers of Rosendans prepared to assault Elfenstadt's army. This valley turned out to be swarmed by bees, which produced a very sweet honey, which intoxicated Dald, the commander of Rosendans' army, after consuming heavy amounts of this particular substance, as he eventually got addicted to it. This intoxication halted the battle for 15 days, until Rosendans finally had to retreat, and Elfenstadt won the war with minor casualties. The military encampment was then sieged after Dald fucking hell, I can't speak for shit. The military encampment was then sieged after Dald had retreated his forces, and the county of Elfenstadt capitalized off of this honey, and the abandoned camp was quickly inhabited by a surprising amount of potential beekeepers. After this, the camp evolved into a town, which has now gotten too big for the valley it originated in. The honey, unfortunately, does not exist anymore, as the production turned out to be too popular for the limited resources, and the local Dalton honey was eventually overconsumed. Brought to you by Bethesda. Yeah, okay, so, short summary. Back in the early Third Age, there was a war between Elfenstadt and Rosendans, and Rosendans made an encampment where Dalt is now, and their commander, which is called Dald with a D at the end, ate some honey he found in the valley, which was produced by the bees inhabiting the area. And this honey was so sweet that he got addicted to it and became intoxicated. So they lost the war. And then Elfenstadt made this encampment into a city and use the honey for trade. But since the honey was such a addicting food, it turned out to perish. Easily explained. So annoying. This stream is not stable at all. It just keeps like going up and down, and it annoys the hell out of me. But as long as you don't have any problems, that's good. This is the first time you see annoyed Galder. No, you know what? Under Megalovania I was even more annoyed, but this is the second time you see annoyed Galder. Yeah, to this day, the citizens live off of the nearby grain farms and timber trade. Galder wanders past the houses, forming a line. Ah, honey, right. Yeah, it is honey, but it can be like used in other situations too in our world. Like weed and stuff. And alcohol. Galder wanders past the houses, forming a line down the main street. It's almost midnight and people are rare to see outside at this time. After his eyes had adjusted to the dim lighting from the remaining torches scattered around the area, he can see what only looks like the silhouette of Bashir along with his two youngest children on the porch of a house with a skewed roof. The sign leading to the entrance of the house reads, Magnelia's Broken Bones. Galder walks over to them as Bashir gets up, smiling. Galder, I'm glad to see you in one piece. The children get up as well and walks over to him. Philia hugs his leg and cries, still shaking and anxious from the encounter with the mages. Your government is pranking you. Yeah, I know, man. Galder, have you already repressed the memory of Dark Souls 2? No, okay, so Dark Souls 2 also annoys me, but in a more funny way. Buffering became an issue now. Fucking hell. I'm stuck in buffer hell. Yeah. Okay, so it's a very big delay now between the chat and what's happening here. I can see on my camera. Should I restart the stream again? Streaming quality lower than 1080p then. The visual aspect of this stream is not important. That is true. That is true. Yeah. Okay, it feels like it's going good now. So I'll just continue, and if this goes on, I'll have to do something eventually. Yeah. Philia hugs his leg and cries, still shaking and anxious from the encounter with the mages. Galder looks at her and smiles as he pats her head. I'm alright, just out of training. How is Hesh holding up? He asks, grabbing Bashir's shoulder. We had to wake up the physician and plead for him to help her. He was kind enough to do so, and his... No, fuck. Nikolai going sicko mode. Fucking hell. Okay, let's just continue. Okay. Don't hit the reset button, Sons will go mad. Okay, okay. Let's just continue then. Undertale PTSD, yeah, legit, dude. Okay. Yeah, he asks, grabbing Bashir's shoulder. We had to wake up the physician, physician and plead for him to help her. He was kind enough to do so and is currently treating her. Shahira followed her inside, he answers with a devastated look. It's going to be alright, Bashir. I can tell. Galder answers and points at the moon. How can you tell? Because the moon is bright tonight. Which means that Ayas watches over us, Galder explains. Is that a common myth in Chaldean? He asks. It is. I'm not much of a believer though, but we need all the hope we can when a child is sickly. In Alshamir, we always used to say that if the water is flowing in our direction, we will have a good week, Bashir explains. I am sure the water flows in your direction, friend. Galder wishes them luck and walks to the nearby tavern, still covered in mud. The owner looks at him with suspicion. What's your business, wanderer? He asks while washing his apron in a tub covered with wood ash to remove the stains. I need a room for 6 people, 3 adults and 3 children, 1 night. That'll be 4 gold, sir, the owner answers. That is 4 gold which I don't have. We only need to stay here for a night. Is there any way we could lower the price? Galder asks. Can't do that, sir. We have too few guests as it is. Stream in 10 pixels? Jesus. What is going on? What is going on? Okay. You know, if you guys still can hear, I guess that's the most important thing. So, yeah, let's just continue. Stream is doing a little troll, yeah. Problem solved, it's in 144p now. Okay, nice. Nice. The buffers. Okay, I think they will cool down eventually. Yeah, I don't know what's happening to my internet, man. It's going crazy. Okay. Yeah. So we left off with the with Galder meeting with the inn owner